What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're back doing another sit down video. Today's video is something that I got requested to talk about. I thought January was a really good time to talk about this, and that is my 75 soft challenge experience. Mr. Squirtle just showed up. I actually finished mine I think on December 1st, so now it's the end of January, so it's been a while, but I did get a lot of requests specifically during Vlogmas to make a video or talk about my experience. I feel like I did look up some stuff like this before I started and just being like, okay, is it attainable for me? So I hope this will be helpful, or even just if you don't plan on doing it, that is totally fine. This video isn't meant to convince you one way or another to do a challenge like this. With that being said, I didn't really think when I was doing my challenge that I was going to make a video like this, so I kind of, looking back, I wish I had gotten more footage, more pictures, because then it would have been more helpful to show you guys in this video. I'm definitely going to include what I can. The last thing I want to say before I jump in is a little bit of a disclaimer that if you're hoping for some sort of a weight loss transformation, or for me to say this is the weight I started at and this is the weight I ended the challenge at, that is not going to be happening in this video. I don't weigh myself. I didn't weigh myself before I started this. I didn't weigh myself after. That doesn't mean that I don't have progress to share with you guys and how I feel I progressed, but it just means I'm not going to be doing some sort of this is my body when I started and this is when I ended, because that just really wasn't the overall point of this for me. I kind of just wanted to say that initially in case anyone was hoping for that. That is, I don't know what I weigh. I don't know when I started. I don't know right now. And that is, I've talked about that before, but that is just the way that I am kind of at peace. So if you're watching this video, you've probably this little guy, you've probably heard of the 75 soft challenge, but if you haven't and you're not familiar, I wanted to go over the guidelines and rules for it and also compare it a little bit to what I know about 75 hard, which is the harder version of this challenge. I have some stuff written down on my laptop and I do know these rules, but if I'm looking over here, just know it's I made some notes for this video. The first guideline is to eat well and only consume alcohol during social occasions. Focusing more on nutrition and social occasions, that could, it's kind of up to you, but from what I get from that, it's holidays, birthdays, going out with friends, or I think even having friends over, it would be okay. And it's more just not, I feel for me it was more just not drinking alone, or on a weeknight having a glass of wine just because. Next is to work out for 45 minutes per day, and you get 1 day of active recovery each week. So I know with 75 hard, you do 2 45-minute workouts a day, and one of them has to be outside. So that is kind of one of the differences. The next thing is drink 3 liters of water each day. So 3 liters comes out, I think when I calculated it, it was right around 100 ounces of water, which, just to put that into perspective, this is a 20-ounce Stanley. It's a little guy, but I also have the 40-ounce, okay? But that would be 5 of these. I mean, I know, like I said, it's small compared to a Stanley, but literally 5 of these in one day, okay? It is a lot. I think with 75 hard, I'll put the exact amount of water on the screen, but I know it's more than that. I think it's a gallon. And the last thing is read 10 pages of any book each day. So just kind of making the habit of sitting down with yourself and reading, even if it's only 10 pages. Just in case you're comparing and watching this, I'll put the 75 hard rules here and the 75 soft rules here in case you're trying to decide between them. For me, it was the easiest decision. I was not prepared to do something 75 hard. I just feel okay, it's a specific type of person. It's really doubling the workouts that I did for this challenge, which I feel that was challenging enough. And I am just glad somebody invented the 75 soft, because it made this attainable for somebody like me. I just feel this is a lot more realistic and attainable for, I'm just gonna say, most people's lifestyles, and it's not as restrictive. And I hate restricting. I would personally never do a diet or something that was completely restrictive, and this gave me a lot of freedom, even though I did have guidelines as well. I will say that going into this, I think I definitely had more of the idea of not necessarily all or nothing, but I definitely had more of the mindset of like, we're doing this and we're gonna do like the absolute best we can do. As it like went on and as I kind of was like getting more into the swing of this, you know, a couple weeks had gone by, I will say in some ways I like adjusted the guidelines a little bit to my lifestyle. I will talk about that as I get more into like I want to discuss each part of 75 Soft individually. So I wanted to thank Gem for sponsoring today's video. I feel like it just flows perfectly with this particular video talking about health and wellness. So 90% of Americans are actually nutrient deficient. It's very difficult to get all the ingredients you need from our diet alone because our food is over farmed and therefore it's not as nutrient dense as it should be. So that's where Gem comes in. These are their citrus ginger daily essentials, and basically these are nutrient bites that you take one per day. It's instead of taking like a vitamin or a pill, which I really like because I actually hate taking big pills, and I actually don't take any pills that are bigger than like a small to medium size. So these are such a great alternative and they're also delicious. I actually have mine in this cute little case. You could put yours for the week in here, or they're perfect for travel. This is what they look like. Again, they're a citrus ginger flavor. So I'm gonna take mine of the day with you guys. It literally matches my sweater today. This was not planned. So Gem is there to fill the gaps in your diet with real whole food sourced nutrients that your body craves and your body needs. You guys can see on the back here all of the things that the nutrient bites offer, from zinc to vitamin D to vitamin B, K12. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm always getting sick, and I unfortunately do not have the best immune system, which I've been trying to work on, and I'm very thankful to have something like Gem to help boost my daily immunity every single day, and it's just easy. Gem's customers rave about the following results most: energy and mood thanks to the B vitamins, vitamin B3 and beta glucan; hair, skin, and nails thanks to prebiotics, probiotics, biotin, turmeric, vitamin D3 and folate; digestion and immunity, which that's a big one for me, digestion thanks to prebiotics, probiotics, and zinc; and bone and brain health thanks to K2 and vitamin D. So right now Gem is offering 50% off your first month, so literally half off. So you guys can go to dailygem.com/LindseyHughes. I will have that info on the screen right now, as well as at the top of the description box down below. I will have a link to go and get your 50% off. Thank you so much to Gem for sponsoring this video. All right, let's first talk about the nutrition portion as well as limiting alcohol. So one thing about me is my diet and nutrition, that's not really something that I am ever gonna be like, for 75 days, I'm gonna eat this way. And then maybe after I will go back to what I was doing before, or maybe I'll stick with it. I'm just the type of person that I know how I am. Restriction, like I said, does not work for me. Cutting things out does not work for me. It's more about balance. It's more about trying to make those smarter decisions. And if I do want to eat something like going out for fast food with my boyfriend, I'm gonna do it. That's just how I am, and I'm not gonna tell anybody out there how to eat or how to do their nutrition. But for this challenge, I knew I personally didn't really want to change my nutrition and my diet. I just wanted to focus on being a little smarter, being more intentional, and also upping my protein. So I will say for the first week or two, I think I was trying to track my protein just on my phone. I would look at what I was eating and try to track it. I will say I can never see myself tracking my food or protein every day. So I did that for, like I said, maybe a week or two, and then I kind of got out of that. But the whole time of the challenge, I was focusing on eating more protein and upping my protein. And I feel like I did a pretty good job at that. And that is still something that is one of my goals for nutrition, is just more protein heavy foods. That is how I felt like I would be the most successful at doing this challenge. All right, let's talk about the alcohol portion, because if you guys know me, I am the type of gal that I like to have drinks. I like to go out and have drinks with my friends on dates with my boyfriend. I like having a glass of wine a few nights a week. The rule of only having alcohol in social situations was something that was a little bit okay, I feel like that's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but I feel like I can do it. I felt like it was attainable for me, and I like that it wasn't completely cutting it out, because once again, that is gonna make me just want to have a drink so badly, is you telling me for 75 days, not a single drink. So if that is something that works for you, that's great. That works for you. Like, I wish I was that disciplined, honestly, but I know myself. It was my birthday during this challenge. I went on a like 10-week long vacation with my family, who I only see my whole family once a year. So I knew there was going to be stuff that came up. I found that I was spending less money because I wasn't really drinking at all at home. I mean, occasionally, maybe if we like had some people over for something, I would have a couple drinks, like a social thing like that. But other than that, I wasn't drinking on my own. I wasn't drinking at home. I wasn't like buying bottles of wine. So I saved some money, which was great. It was nice to like only reserve it for like the weekends or a special date night. Of course, maybe you could say like that a date with one person is not a social occasion. I personally, for myself, once again, the rule for me, I was like, that is going to be something that I'm going to allow myself to have a drink if I want to, and I think that's totally fine. I think this was really good for me, honestly, you guys. I think it was nice to get out of that routine of like having a couple glasses of wine. I really like drinking wine when I'm cooking, or just like to kind of unwind after a long day of work or something. So I will say now, since the challenge has ended, I am buying some wine again. I'm not like, I really haven't changed anything like drastically since ending this challenge. It's just more like I am having some glasses of wine when I want to, and I'm very in touch with like how much I'm drinking and when I'm drinking and why I'm drinking. And I feel like that's something that I've been working on the past few years, is just being more intentional about my decision to drink versus not drink. All right, let's talk about the working out portion of this challenge, which I feel like it is probably the most demanding part of this challenge. Committing to working out 6 days out of 7 days a week is a big like thing to take on, honestly. Even if it's, yeah, like 45 minutes doesn't sound that much. A lot of my workouts were 45 minutes. A lot of my workouts were an hour, because that's how long most of my workout classes that I already do are. Before this challenge, I would say I work out 3 to 5 days a week. I was upping that to 6 days a week, which it is a lot, you guys. I would say if you're not in the swing of working out, it's going to be difficult to just start working out 6 days a week. It definitely is a lot. I'm not saying it's like unattainable by any means. I mean, we should ideally be moving our bodies for like 30 minutes a day. 45 was definitely something I knew was going to be a challenge, but I will say I got into the swing of it pretty quick. And I think that one thing that really helped me was planning my workouts for the week. I would literally have a notes tab for every week on my phone, and this is something that I think I stuck to for like most of the challenge. I would like strategically look at my week. When am I working? When am I home? Like if I was traveling, and I would plan out those workouts, sign up for classes, or be like, that day I'm gonna go on a walk, or I'm gonna do a home workout. And I had a really good mix with working out 6 days a week. You're probably gonna wanna have a mix. I mean, unless there's something that you're just like so obsessed with doing, or you plan on like doing all your workouts from home, which you definitely could do. I think having some variety would be good, because you're gonna be working out so much basically every day that you want to like keep it exciting as much as you can. Another thing I also wanted to talk about is like the weather, or the current time of year that it's gonna be when you might choose to do this challenge. Of course, you could do it at any time of year, but I will say it's probably gonna be easier to complete it if it's a little nicer out. Like I wouldn't really probably choose to do this in winter, because a lot of my workouts were walks outside. I feel like that was really nice for me to switch it up. But I would just say like factor that in if you do want to be working out outside, because I feel like that was something that I was able to do, and it was really nice. Like typically at least once a week I would do like a walk outside. I would have my watch and my AirPods. I did home workouts. I really recommend MadFit. There's this other girl that I'll find her name because I can't remember, but I know I did some of her workouts, and she's honestly jacked. She's like so fit, but I feel like her workouts were still, for me, the ones I chose, I feel like they were attainable. My home workouts, I was typically choosing things that were like right at 45 minutes, or I would do 2 videos. Like I would do like a 20-minute and then a 25, or 3 15-minute videos or something. If it was a really just a day where like maybe it was raining, I was on my period or something, it wasn't nice out, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do like MadFit has these floor workout videos where there's like no jumping, no standing. It's just like on a mat on the floor. You can do it without any equipment. those were really nice for me. But other than that, you guys might know I do Orange Theory, so I was trying to do my Orange Theory at least once to twice a week. And then I have my cycling class, which once again I try to go to once a week. Sometimes it's every other week, but I was definitely going a lot more during this. And then I have my Pilates, which is actually like a core Pilates type workout, but I just call it Pilates. That's what it's most similar to, and I was doing that also 1 to 2 days a week. So that is kind of how I had a variety. It really kept me motivated, so planning your workouts I think is going to be super, super important to being successful here, and just like get yourself in that routine of just doing it. And after a couple weeks, you'll just be so in the routine. You'll be like, well, I have to do my workout today. As for your rest days, I would say, you know, you could try to plan it out. Like, for example, if you're like going to a wedding or something like that, you're probably going to be like getting ready and at that like potentially all day. So if you have something during the day, or if you have like a travel day, of course you'll be like walking around maybe at the airport, but like try to plan your rest day into a day like that where you're not going to be like stressed out about fitting in a workout. If your week is just a normal week, just try to plan it in your rest day maybe for, yeah, whatever day works for you. Like if you're going to be working out hard 4 days in a row, maybe put your rest day in the middle of the week. You can do 4 days on, rest day 2 days, you know, or whatever it is, like 3, you could do 3 days, rest day 3 days, whatever like just feels right for you. I'm going to put on the screen right here new workout classes and new workouts that I tried during 75 Soft, because I did have to get a little creative and switch it up some days. So I think I tried at least like 4 new types of workout classes in addition to what I already do. Okay, now let's get real for a second. There was absolutely days where I didn't want to work out, or like I said, I had a good amount of travel days at the beginning of my 75 Soft, and there were just days where it's just like, you know, like I said, I was on my period or something, and I'm like, it's not happening today. Like maybe it was a Sunday and I just didn't get around to it. If I was having one of those days where I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fit it in today, I would plan that day and be like, okay, well, today's my rest day, but I have to work out the next, whatever it is, 3 days this week. Because you don't necessarily know until you get into the week, like when you're gonna be super sore and tired. Like you could plan your rest day for Friday and then end up like on Wednesday, you're like really sore, and I'm also just like, I don't have time to work out. So I feel like that would be a good day to have as your rest day, but you would have to technically work out the rest of the week. So just like be real with yourself. Just know there are definitely gonna be days where at least I was really not motivated, and I did end up skipping throughout the whole challenge. I ended up missing like probably like 5 days of workouts, just total, not like in a row or anything. What I did that worked for me, and I didn't feel like really bad about doing this, was I was like, okay, today I didn't work out and I already had my rest day or something. Like if something like that happened, I'm just gonna be real with myself. Let's add on a day to the end of this challenge. Like I want to make sure I am getting in those workouts. So I ended up doing the challenge for probably another week. Like I ended a week later than I thought I would, because I ended up adding, it was probably between 5 and 6 workout days that I was trying to like make up for. And I feel like that's totally fine. Just keep track of that. And if you don't have any days that you miss, that is incredible. But for me, it was something that like 75 days was a really long time for me. It felt extremely long. That was a struggle for me in the beginning, kind of feeling like, oh shit, does this mean I'm like failing at the challenge? But I think I had to come to that place that was like, I am still doing so much for my body and doing so much to better myself, and I'm still like I'm still on the wagon. I'm still doing this. I'm not like giving up. All right, let's talk about the water intake for this, which let me just say, I didn't think it would be as challenging for me as it was. I think this is the area of the challenge that I did the absolute worst in, and I just want to be upfront about that and not act like I was perfect, because I was actually far from it. I actually did pretty bad at the water intake for this. I am the type of person that always has my water bottle with me. I'm used to hydrating. I have to sleep with water next to my bed. I drink a lot of water and I pee a lot. I would say in my normal life outside of this challenge, and this might sound crazy to some people, I'm not talking about in the middle of the night, but other than that, if I am up, I am probably peeing at least once an hour, which is actually a good thing, because it means, I think it means that I'm hydrated. I'm used to bringing my water bottle with me everywhere. Okay, so this wasn't something that I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so hard for me. I'm bad at drinking water. 100 ounces, is that what it is? Yeah, 100 ounces of water. It was not it was not really, I'm not saying it was not possible for me, but it was so difficult that it was like pissing me off. Honestly, I have to be upfront about that. And I know you drink more for 75 hard, and that would be literally, honestly, impossible for me. Like unless I was waking up at like 6 a.m., I don't think I could physically do it. I was just not having enough time in the day, or like I don't take big enough sips of water, because I'm telling you, like I tried. For the first like week of this challenge, I was like, I am gonna, like I will stop at nothing. I was trying so hard, and I think I succeeded for the first couple days, and then I started like drinking as much as I could, but I wasn't getting to 100, literally because I just was like going to bed, and guys, it just wasn't possible for me. I had my water bottle with me everywhere I went, and it was still not enough time to drink that much water. I'm a slow drinker. That is a fact about me. So I'm just gonna say it. I flopped, honestly, at this part. Honestly, at the end of the day, getting in 60 ounces of water, feeling good, is more important to me than having to hit 100 ounces of water and literally peeing like 3 times an hour. Yeah, I probably should have given this one a little more time, but to be honest with y'all, like I just feel like I do drink enough water. So what I ended up doing after I was like, this is just not attainable for me, I am just going to focus on drink as much water as I can, and I'm not gonna really track it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, today I got 75 ounces, tomorrow I'll try to get 80. To each their own. To some people this might be like very attainable, but like I said, for me this was extremely difficult, and I don't feel like 100 ounces a day is attainable to my lifestyle. I am not up enough hours in the day. It just didn't work for me. Let's really quickly talk about the last part of this challenge, which was the reading 10 pages a day. I will be brief about this. 10 pages to me, it honestly didn't sound like much. I was like, that's totally attainable. I can absolutely do that. And for the most part, I was successful. I will list the books that I read during this challenge. It might not seem like that much to you, because a lot of days I honestly did just read 10 pages. Like a lot of days I kind of saved my reading for like right before bed, which sometimes was when I wanted to read, but sometimes I was just really tired and I could only read 10 pages, or like honestly it was a struggle to read 10 pages because I was so tired. I think the thing for me was, again, like planning out in the day like when you're gonna read. And I think a way that you could do it, if your schedule allows this, is like try to get your reading done earlier on in the day. People that are already in the habit of reading like every day or almost every day, this will probably be pretty simple for you. This was something that I did pretty well. I will say I had a few days that I didn't read my 10 pages, and then what I would do is I would be like, okay, well, didn't happen today. The next day I was like, I need to read 20 pages to like catch up. So I will say I had a few days that I was like, I needed to catch up on my reading. Once again, I just don't want to come on here and act like I was perfect at this whole challenge. I want to be honest with you guys. I really liked this part of the challenge. It was something that like challenged me to put a new thing into my routine every day, because I was reading sparingly before this. Like I was finishing a book when I started this challenge. I feel like it was actually really good for me, and I have taken, you know, some of those habits. I have been reading more since finishing this challenge, and I'm not reading every single day. Like I'm not necessarily being like every day I have to read, but I'm definitely reading more, and I feel like this challenge definitely helped me to appreciate reading more, get more into reading, and make it more of a habit. Okay, that is like all the rules and how I feel like I did. Now I kind of want to talk about like progress, physical changes, mental changes, because this isn't necessarily just like a fitness challenge. I think it's more about like making habits. I would say that this challenge is good for. This challenge is a really great way to practice self-discipline if that's something you feel like you need improvement on, which that's kind of always something that I'm trying to get better at, is because motivation will only take you so far and discipline has to take over sometimes. I feel like a challenge like 75 soft is good if you're like trying to jumpstart your fitness routine. I think it would be really difficult to do it coming from like not working out at all. I think maybe you'd be better off with just heading into like a fitness routine and trying to like do your best, but not having these like specific rules. But I do think if you're already used to like working out a bit regularly, I think this is something that could be good to kind of like, I was just looking for something to kind of like challenge myself a little bit. I've never done any sort of a challenge like this, I don't think. I feel like it was a good time of year for me to do it before it was like freezing winter, before the holidays, you know. Try to like think about the time of year that you're gonna do it. So I kind of was bad at tracking my progress, and I kind of wish I took at least a photo like once a week or even like twice a month. And I didn't. I took photos that I'm a little nervous if I'm gonna even include them. If I do include them in this video, I'm gonna blur part of it because I literally took these photos in like a really light colored thong and a light colored bralette, just because I don't know why. I didn't think these photos would ever see the light of day. Maybe I can get creative with Photoshop or something. If I do include them, they're gonna be brief. I think I took these within the first like week or two of my 75 soft, and then I took some photos towards the end that it wasn't the same outfit, and that was kind of my goal, was I was gonna take like weekly or in this bra and underwear, and then I forgot and life got away from me and I wasn't really thinking about it. Once again, I didn't think I was gonna be making this video. I do have some photos of me towards the end of this challenge. I am wearing like workout clothes, so it's not quite as like, you can't see as much, but I feel like you can see the difference in these photos. And the photos of me in the workout outfit, the brown outfit, I was definitely a little more like posed. You know, I wasn't quite as like, this is, because I wasn't thinking of taking those as progress photos, but they're like the closest thing I have to progress photos. So I know, I wish I had better like progress photos to show you guys, but with that being said, I feel like I did notice some physical changes. Once again, I don't know if I lost weight. I feel like it's very hard to see progress on yourself, especially 75 days really isn't that long to like see progress. So I feel like it was kind of difficult for me to like tell if my body was changing in any ways. But looking back, even like on my stuff from like the summer, I feel like my face was like a little bit fuller before I did the challenge. My whole family kind of has like double chins. That's something that, I mean, maybe it sounds funny, but I've always kind of like been self-conscious and struggled with this area, especially being on vlog and not having like a camera set up like this that's like more of a flattering angle, like just filming yourself from different angles. Like you really notice that stuff a lot about yourself. I feel like, I mean, once again, this is not like the day after the challenge, so maybe I was more snatched. But I feel like my double chin, I'm looking out perfectly straight. I feel like it's still there a little bit, but I definitely feel like it's a lot less prominent. I feel like my face got a little bit more shaped. Once again, nothing drastic, no crazy, and that's okay. Other things I noticed was I personally think my arms got a little more toned and a little more slimmed, which is something I've been trying to work on for a while. I feel like in this photo compared to the beginning, they look different. And once again, these photos were a little more posed, you know what I mean? It wasn't exactly from the same angles. Another thing was my stomach. I feel like, and even now I've been noticing this, I feel like my stomach is like more firm and I have less, you know, fat. I don't know if it's actually true. Again, like, I don't know, because I don't know if I like lost weight, but it feels a little bit different than it did a few months ago. And even just comparing to those before photos, I feel like my stomach and my back, what is it called, like the indentations in your back, I have those a lot. I like still have them, but I feel like they're less prominent than they were in these photos. And so yeah, I'm just celebrating the little wins. Those are like the things I've noticed. I definitely felt like I got stronger. Some other final thoughts: 75 days is, for me, it felt longer than I thought it was going to be. So it ends up being, I think, like around 11 weeks, which is a pretty long time, like almost 3 months. I just think that, like, be prepared. This is going to probably feel a little bit longer than you think it's going to, at least for me. Some regrets that I have are just things looking back. I kind of, looking back, wish I tried a little harder with the water, and I wish I had been a little more disciplined with my workouts, like on those days that I didn't want to work out. I think I could have been a little more disciplined, but looking back, it's just like, in the moment, like what happened happened, and I'm still like really, really proud of myself that I didn't like stop halfway, and I like kept, like every day I would be like, okay, it's a new day to like succeed. I think it would be hard to do something like this, 75 soft or 75 hard, if you're the type of person that's like all or nothing. If you're the type of person that like you would feel like you failed if you didn't do everything perfectly every day. I don't know the statistics, but I'm sure for most people that do stuff like this, you mess up and you're not perfect on some days. Another thing I regret, like I already said, is just like not taking more progress photos. I think that could have been really helpful, not only for this video, but just for myself to like even look back on. So I would encourage you, if you are gonna do 75 soft, to take at least a photo like every week or a few per month. I'm gonna end this video with 2 questions, and those are, would I do it again, and do I recommend it? Would I do it again? I think probably not anytime soon. I feel like I got what I needed to get out of this challenge. I would maybe do the 75 soft again in like a couple years. You probably won't catch me ever doing 75 hard. I would be shocked. I think I would maybe do a different fitness challenge, maybe something that was like 30 days. Lastly, do I recommend it? Do I recommend doing 75 soft after completing it? I would recommend it if you think it fits in your current lifestyle. Like if it is something that you feel like would be challenging, but also is attainable, I think I would recommend it. I would not recommend it if you are not currently working out at all. It would be such a drastic difference. Don't do something like this to like throw yourself into working out for the first time. You know, maybe if you're trying to get back into a fitness routine, but you're used to working out in the past, like on a routine, then probably I would still recommend it. Looking back on the whole thing, I'm proud of myself that I did it. I'm proud of myself that I challenged myself in that way and like committed to those habits and that routine. Okay guys, this has been a pretty long video. All my videos pretty much are, but I hope this was informative. I hope that this was like either helpful or just entertaining. Feel free to ask me any specific questions you might have relating to any of this down in the comments below. If I didn't answer something in this video, I'd love to help you out down below. If you like this video, let me know by giving it a like down below. It would really help me out just to know that you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.